Hi, this is Brian from the J Street Gym, but today we are at Grit Fitness in help me out with it. Schererville, Indiana. And this is Cliff Wilson. Now, Cliff Wilson is my coach. Cliff Wilson coached me at the last competition that I had at the North Americans, but also helped me get my pro card in 2014, and actually 2 pro cards.
Oh, yeah.
I became an IPE, or at that time it was IFPA. And then 2 weeks later, the WNBF got 2 pro cards there. And but now he's going to help me tell me why I sucked at this last competition, and more importantly, in the next 2 years, what I need to focus on and how I can get better. So I guess I'll turn it on. So with that last competition, so I took a 3rd place. Mm-hmm. But where would you say I needed my biggest improvements? It was posing. You would say?
Yeah.
Feel free.
Well, it's been a long road between us. I mean, the first time we worked together was 10 years ago now, and now we're back at it again here.
Yes.
I definitely think in this last show, the things you did well, right? Yeah. Your conditioning was top notch, right? It was like the best up there.
Yeah.
I was really happy with the muscularity we brought in like the shoulders and the chest area. Chest can come up a little bit on the lower portion, but in the shoulders and arms, good. But posing, I think, was the biggest thing.
Yeah.
When you're looking at, especially your frame is a little bit more narrow than some other guys. That's a genetic thing. You can't really change your frame, but to compensate for some of that, it's going to be really important to be able to get your lats out. And I don't think right now with your posing, you're like taking full advantage of the width you do have.
Gotcha.
And especially the 2 guys that placed ahead of you at your last show, they already had a wider frame than you.
Yeah.
And then combine that with the ability to showcase that wide frame, then it just became too much to overcome.
So specifically, because we'll go over a couple of exercises too later on, because I remember you clearly said that I'm probably doing my chest wrong.
Yes.
And I'm doing my lat pull downs wrong. Right?
Yeah. The thing that catches you. So you have a lot of like what I would call fine tuning areas. Like your chest does show well on stage because you're so lean, right? So you end up with nice striations. So sometimes that catches people's attention, but we don't have a lot of fullness in those front poses on your pecs.
Yeah.
And so I think that we need to adjust some of the angles of your exercises to be able to take your front delts and your triceps out of it. Like when I look at your physique, your front delts and your triceps are clearly taking over a lot of that work.
Okay.
And so we need to adjust that. And then with your lats, you have a very defined back and a good mid back, but we're lacking on the lat area, specifically the lower lats. And so we're going to need to like focus on how to engage that area specifically, because how you row matters. You can set someone up with any sort of rowing exercise, and you can target mid back or lats depending on how you cue it.
So if we have 2 years to kind of get through that, is 2 years going to be enough? Or how is all?
I think 2 years should be good. You know, we need to keep growing. I mean, the biggest thing in general though is just conditioning was good. I think we peaked well, but we need size. Right. Size. Some of the pecs, some areas of your pecs need to come up. I would like to see the lower pecs come up, lower lats come out, and bigger legs. I mean, the lower pecs I'd like to see come up because in comparison to your chest or in comparison to your shoulders and your arms, it appears to be a lack of fullness compared to those other areas. And then, like, for example, with your back, when you turn around, you have good, like, back double bicep pose, which showcases the mid-back, the delts, the arms. But then it's like we have this, like, gap of muscularity. Well, when people reach your stage of your career, we're not always looking at, like, overall size. I mean, overall size is helpful, right? It's always helpful to just develop overall size. But when someone becomes more advanced in their competitive career, you really look for what I call gaps in muscularity. Are there parts of their body that appear to have this gap where it doesn't reach the level of muscularity as other parts? So when I look at your physique as a whole, we have like gaps of muscularity in the lower lat area, the lower pec area, and I would say in the quad area. So if we can fill in these gaps, it will bring in that proportion between those areas and the other areas.
So one of the areas I know that I needed to work on as well is just mobility. Everywhere I go, I struggle with that.
I think that's why you can't get the lats out.
Yeah, I struggle with that. And then it's also even the turns, like on the side turns, getting that all the way around and showing that full upper chest. It's tough, right? So
yeah. I mean, I think this can be corrected through two ways. One, specific stretching and mobility work.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, as you know, what we're going to work on today too, because this is our first time actually getting to like work in person a little bit too. Yeah. Since we're mostly online, but like also running exercises through specific full ranges of motion, making sure you're not shortening that range of motion, because every exercise is an opportunity to stretch. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're doing things the right way, exercise should make you move better and not worse.
Gotcha.
And so like, you know, little things like fully extending on a row, letting your shoulders stretch out there, that's an opportunity to increase your range of motion because you're running through a stretch. Maybe we just need to make sure that we're getting that full range of motion on every exercise. And then over the course of time, I mean, you're stretching then every workout of every, every set of every workout. And so you're going to increase that range of motion over the course of time.